Welcome back to the channel. On today's video we're going to be covering off the diesel heater install. So here we have the diesel pump. This is one of the biggest bone of contentions with these, that these are really noisy, and the idea is to mount them as far away from the bed as you possibly can so as to reduce the noise that you actually get while sleeping or in the van. Some people mount them outside, again just to try and reduce the noise. I've seen people do a lot of different ideas of how to reduce it. I don't really have the option to go outside because we're going to use it in conditions of snow, etc. Yes, I know diesel has a lower sort of point of where it freezes, however I'd rather make it so that the diesel line for the most part stays inside, and therefore the temperature of the diesel stays at a kind of more of an ambient van temperature, so that there is no chance that the diesel won't get to the heater. So the plan is to make a soundproof box and then enclose this within the wheel arch, which will also be soundproofed, and the idea is that that should, and time will tell, stop the noise. So here's the plan. As I've seen others do before, I'm going to take a clippy box so that I can basically put the pump inside there. This is going to be sound deadened with Dodo, because I've got some Dodo left over from soundproofing the vehicle. So the idea is I'm going to use that to line this. I'm also going to line the wheel arch. I'm going to bolt the pump to this box, and I'm going to fix this box to the wall of the wheel arch. However, between each section of that there will be Dodo, so it should hopefully do its job and deaden the sound. Let's see how it goes. As you can see, I've now made the holes in the box. There's one at the back there for mounting, one on the right hand side for the fuel to go out and the power to come into the pump, and on the left hand side is a hole for the fuel to come in from the tank. What I've got here is the side wall to the wheel arch. It's been lined underneath with the silver Dodo like what's already on the wheel arch, and then over the top we put the sound deadening mat, which should give us extra sound deadening against the clicking of the pump. I'm also going to line the side of the box as well as the roof of the box when we attach that as well, so that should help also deaden the noise even further. The next bit's going to be working out the tank. So I bought an additional fuel tank rather than use the one that comes with the diesel heater. The reason for that is that it's a better shape to fit in the van. I can also put this pickup in it. I'm also going to be putting a sender in this corner here, so I'll be able to connect that to the Victron to tell me how much diesel that I've got left, so I don't have to keep looking in the back of the van every 2 minutes. This is actually going to go in the corner there, and I'm just going to strap it into place, and all I've got to do then is open the back door up to fill it. With the hole now drilled in the top, all I need to do is just work out what length I want the pickup to be. Now I don't want it to go all the way to the bottom, because any sort of muck that ends up in the bottom of the tank is quite welcome to stay there. So I'm just going to come off just a fraction off the bottom, and I'm just going to cut this a bit short so we can then put it into the tank. Now I've got the fuel hose in place, ready to connect onto the diesel heater. I've marked out the hole for the sender to go on the other side. Someone said this is probably a little bit over the top, but the simple view is if I put a sender in here, I know how much diesel is in here without keep coming to the back of the van and looking. It will come up on the Victron system on the screen, so that's a lot easier. I've got the option to do it, so I'm just going to add it in. So there you go, that's the sender now in place. As you can see down the bottom there, there's a little float that raises up as the diesel fills up, and that tells the server to tell me how much fuel is left in the diesel heater. So there's the second scariest hole in the van done, all ready for the plate for the diesel heater to go in. Here is the diesel heater now in the hole in the bottom of the van. I've lined it with fire stop so as to protect the floor and the surrounding areas from the heat that the diesel heater produces. So there we go, the fuel line now comes down through the floor, goes round up into the chassis rail, stays inside, goes all the way along, comes out the other end, and then through and up into the bottom of the diesel heater. And there we go. On this side we've got the air intake, which is held up nice and tight, and on this side coming out all the way along by the exhaust. There we go, we have the exhaust. So with a little bit of encouragement, I've heated up the pipe, but I've managed to get it onto the pickup hose. I've now got to go and prime the pump. So currently I've got all the cable coming underneath the shower, which there's my outlet, which is going to go into the bobble heater part, which will go onto the shelf that sits above. The cabling all sits here at the moment. There will be a cupboard which is all going to be going into, but for now we just sit on a heat just to make sure it all works. The fuse box there, the inline fuse there, which I've now got to connect in, so we can then have life in the diesel heater. There we go, starting to run up. Feel the air coming out of there quite nicely. Let's go have a look outside. So it's running right at the moment, it's quite noisy, but no white smoke as of yet. I'm expecting white smoke because they do say you do get a bit when it first fires up for the first time. Let's carry on with the warm-up process. So there we go, the pump is going, you can hear it, it's making a bit of a knock knock knock, but it's in the case without the lid on it yet, and also I've got to put the wheel arch all around it and pad that out to keep it a little bit quieter. It is noisy, but not as bad as I was expecting it to be. The heater's going currently, putting out a nice bit of heat. Currently sitting at 19 degrees in here, 18, 19. Just going to see how long it takes to get the van up to temperature, and then I'm going to knock the temperature back on it and see what happens. So my plan was to set it to 25 degrees, let it get really warm in the van. However, 20 degrees is ample warm enough. My goodness, this thing chucks out heat. So I'm going to lower the temperature down, just see how long it takes for the van to kind of start dropping in temperature. At the back of the van, we've now got the tank mounted into place. The hose comes out the top of the tank, comes into the pump, carries on through the wheel arch, and goes out and under the bottom of the van, and then comes up into the bottom of the diesel heater. So here's the soundproof box now sitting in its new home inside the wheel arch. I've covered it in Dodo on the inside so as to reduce the noise and the vibration that comes from it. I've also opted now not to bolt it to the wheel arch. I am actually just going to let it sit into situ. It does wedge quite nicely into the corner with padding around it, so that should also help with reducing the vibration and the resonance noise that comes from the pump. So it sits just here. The filter sits just below it, so it's easy to access, and then I can change it. The lid that goes on here is also removable separate, so that I can access the pump if I need to, or the filter to change anything. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do have any questions or comments, please listen down below. I'll do my best to answer them for you. Please also don't forget to hit the like button, also to subscribe if you are new here, and notification bell dear when the next video goes live. See you in the next video.